Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Abdullah Hassan Wili. My roll number is PP 165006. My group number is 53. My major topic is hypoglycemia. What is my subtopic? Subtopic is prandial hypoglycemia. So let's talk about first of all what is hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is a condition in which your blood sugar glucose level is lower than the normal range, approximately 140 milligram per deciliter. Or we can say hypoglycemia can happen if your body can't stabilize your blood sugar level. Or also we can say it's too much produce of insulin in your body. Or we can say hypoglycemia is a most common one is those patients who have diabetes. So what's the preprandial blood sugar? Less than 7% glycerated hemoglobin may also be reported as the EAG less than 104 milligram per deciliter before the meal, or we can say preprandial plasma glucose level. Or 1 to 2 hours after the beginning of the meal, or simply we can say postprandial hypoglycemia is hypoglycemia that occur after taking meal, approximately 1 to 3 till 4 hours, while preprandial is before meal. Case study is here. Mr. Jew is a 42 years old man, slightly overweight, 5 feet 11 inches and 180 pounds. Man has a history of the type 1 diabetes mellitus for 17 years. Geo medical care was sporadically until 1 year ago, or it was unregularly until 1 year ago when he referred himself to diabetic clinic because he was beginning to develop a pain and a numbness in his feet. He was put controlled on a single daily dose of 45 units insulin. He had not been testing his blood sugar concentration, and his glycerated hemoglobin was 13%. That you can see is higher than not the normal range. On a physical examination, Gio was found to have an elevated blood pressure on background retinopathy and decreased vital pulses bilateral. He had decreased sensation to vibration and monofilament in both feet. Gio also complained of impotence and shooting pains in both legs. His both collection for microalbumin was 450 milligram of albumin. The creatinine normal range was 30 to 300 milligram per gram. Gio was transitioned to basal bolus insulin regimen. His physician gave him a pre-meal blood glucose target of 70 to 130 milligram per deciliter. Over the last several months, he has been treated with the following regimens. First of all, 14 to 18 units insulin glucosamine before breakfast, and 14 to 18 units insulin glucosamine before lunch. And also 16 to 18 units insulin glucosamine before dinner, and 40 units insulin glargine at bedtime. So if his blood glucose level is high after the lunch, he can take additional glucosamine. What if his blood glucose level is high at the bedtime? For example, above 150 milligram per deciliter, he can take additional insulin glucosamine, approximately 7 up to 10 units, because his doctor told him his blood glucose level need to be lowered significantly. Over the past year, Geo HbA1c has decreased up to the 7.1%, or we can say his glycerated hemoglobin test is decreased up to 7.1. That's halfly as much as compared to the previous test. Currently, he has approximately 5 hypoglycemic episodes per week, primarily in the late afternoon and the evening. These are characterized by intense hunger and sweet and palpitations. He has found that he can avoid natural hypoglycemia by eating large bedtime snacks over the past 3 months. So he gained 15 pounds. So are due signs and symptoms consistent with a mild, moderate, or severe hypoglycemia, or what are the causes? Here the subjective. Geo is a 42 years old man, slightly overweight, 5 feet 11 inches, 180 pounds man. Had history of type 1 diabetes mellitus for 17 years old, for 17 years. And medical care was sporadic until 1 year ago. Here's the time and the glucose concentration and a different time, especially since from the morning until up to the afternoon. 7 a.m. is recorded it was 60 up to 320 milligram per deciliter, and noon 140 to 285 bm to from 40 to 300. The assessment is Gio has a mild to moderate hypoglycemic reaction, which he is able to self-treat. They are likely due to the over-insulinization and the insulin is stacking with the high rapid-acting insulin. Here is the management and the plan. The total daily insulin dose of more than 1 unit per kg. This dose is usually or a little bit high for patients with the type 1 diabetes. We should not be resistant to the action of insulin. Weight gain over the past several months. This is the secondary to the anabolic effect of insulin, as well as the GEOs increase the carbohydrate intake too much. His high insulin doses or treatment of hypoglycemia. Frequently, hypoglycemic reaction, high glycemic variability, just blood glucose concentration that fluctuates widely between the hypoglycemia and the hyperglycemia. Due cases, high blood glucose concentration might represent reactive hyperglycemia or overtreatment of the hypoglycemic episode. Geo should be managed by discontinuing his high sugar corrections at the bedtime and after lunch. He should avoid the large bedtime snacks, and also he should also begin testing his blood glucose at 2 or 3 a.m. to assess if he is still experiencing natural hypoglycemia after stopping the bedtime insulin glucosin. It will be important that record to the actual doses that he administered before each meal and bring the record to the clinic so that his insulin doses can be fine-tuned. Next, if he is capable, an algorithm for adjusting his preprandial insulin glucosin dosage should be provided to minimize hypoglycemic and hyperglycemic reaction. Thank you so much, man.